I think if you surf, it's likely that it'll engulf your whole life.
The ocean has always provided rhythms, and it's just a matter of matching up to them, isn't it? That's what surfing's all about, really. I'm Linda Sharp. I've been surfing now for more than 50 years. And my career in surfing started off with competitive swimming, so I was a full-on competitive swimmer, which progressed into life-saving. The life-saving club had surfboards, so I stole one and had to go, and found I could surf straight away, and that was in 1968. I managed to get my first surfboard in 1969. My whole life really from that point has been focused around the next surf. The first magazines were coming in from America. There were photographs of them in tropical beaches, and I loved it. I thought, I'm gonna do the same as them. I'm gonna go meet them one day, and I did. Eventually, yeah. Used to surf with marigold gloves, rugby jerseys, ordinary trainers on your feet, well, daps we used to call them. So I was the only woman surfing on that beach, and the only woman who surfed right through the winter, probably in the whole of Wales for about at least 6 or 7 years at least.
We've been working on How Surf Now for the last 5 or 6 months. And the idea at first was, let's introduce a young group of girls to surfing and see how they respond. And off the back of that was a high demand for more sessions. So we went, okay, we now have a group of 20 young girls who want to surf. Okay, let's offer them a platform for them to surf.
My name is Caris Griffiths. I'm the designer and maker of Full Bay, and I also do some surf photography on the side. I was always drawn towards the culture of surfing, and just someone just doing a hobby and trying to make a living out of it. I think that is the essence of surfing culture. That's how everything started in the first place.
So we started off regular house surf sessions in the summer. July, August, September, obviously, sun's out, days are long, everything's good. It's about as nice as it gets down here. Even at that point, some of them needed a bit of persuading to get in. And now we're middle of November, and nobody even bats an eyelid about the weather anymore. Rain, cold, we've got boots, we've got hoods. So they've really just fallen in love with it. And I think so much of that is because they've met a relatable, inspiring surfer that they love hanging out with and doing stuff with.
January is more of a raw, bleak kind of scene down Gower, but there's not that many people around because the waves are empty. It's pretty gnarly, so you do get tossed around a bit, but that's how you learn. The light can be absolutely perfect down there, and when it's stormy, it's even better. When you're on your own, there's something quite isolating about it, but it's also quite beautiful and serene.
The first Welsh Championships I entered was in 1970. I managed to persuade 2 of the other girls from the lifeguard club to come in the water with me. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had a women's section, competition. I had already entered the men's, but they weren't happy for me to go in because they knew I could beat most of them. The ocean has always provided a focus for me because in a way, it's because I lived in a concrete jungle. I lived on one of the biggest estates, housing estates, which was all concrete houses, concrete roads, and we had BP Chemicals one side and the Steel Company Wales the other side. So I was surrounded by concrete, and my big escape was to go down the beach. It's just really important to get out into the elements, and realise you're only a tiny speck. It puts you back on a level pegging, doesn't it?
Right, there we go. We've landed. Does anybody need anything that's in the back of my car? You two need to get straight up. Yeah. Good go. And now pull that from that way. All the way off.
And most of the magazines I've got don't feature women at all unless they're just standing there in bikinis, you know, just the model side of it.
Because that's what we're sold, to look good in a bikini and that's it, to carry a board under your arm. But that's all you see, generally. It's never, like I said before, like a woman in a wetsuit that is enjoying waves in Iceland, for example. I think the more women get featured in a wetsuit in cold water magazines, the more young women are going to see that as something, that's, people want to see that, people like to see that, so I'm going to do it too.
The magazine coverage of sports has changed so much, and yes, it's empowered by women, it's driven by women. It can only be a good thing because it's looking at it from a slightly different perspective. I don't know that it can be conquered completely, but there is a disconnect between women or girls at that age and sport. Water sports in this area is something that people engage with. It's really something that happens around the fringes of Britain, you know. When I grew up, I always had my brothers with me. I always had this little group of friends, but I didn't have any of that camaraderie thing with other girls, and I actually would have really enjoyed that.
So I remember seeing Linda in school, and I remember being like, oh my God, that's Linda Sharp, like the woman who put British and Welsh surfing on the map. So I remember just being, I guess, stars in your eyes a bit.
No, Gwen I met while I was teaching. I was teaching PE and she was pupil.
I feel like I was super fortunate to have a few critical female role models, one being Linda, when I chose to sort of throw in the towel with competing. I remember saying to Linda, like, I really want to help out. I'd love to be able to do this and help out. And she was like, okay, like, make it happen. It's always been a case of, you want something done, like, go do it.
I think it's amazing what the How Girls are doing. I was actually on their social media the other day, and I thought to myself, I wish I had something like this when I was young, when I was about 14.
The How group, they're not just surfing, but the surfing that they're doing is going to open up the opportunity for girls to come in from areas and walks of life that wouldn't normally have a chance to do it. Because I went down to Caswell a couple of weeks ago and saw the girls, the How Girls, having one of their sessions, and it was just bliss for me to see the smiles on their faces. It was carefree. It was carefree, it was fun. They were squealing and shouting and giggling with each other. And my memories of surfing are the same as that. And to see them having that chance to start off so young, enjoying, you know, what I've loved for all my life. I was so pleased to see it happening. I just hope they all stick with it and all enjoy it as much as I have.